against Long Island out in Long Island. They took a 4-point lead into the fourth quarter, outscored 28-12 in that fourth quarter as they just ran out of energy and came up a little bit short.
And there you can see on the screen, there's Laura Segas, the senior for Chicago State, going to end her career, unfortunately, with injury here tonight out of Spain. Salutes to some of her family members. We follow each other on Instagram. They had some very heartfelt messages for Laura Segas earlier today. And salute to number 10 in black and green. I'll never forget a lot of those early Chicago State wins when I first started calling these games the last few years. If we didn't get a Laura Segas running hook shot, it didn't look too good. So if we got the Laura Segas running hook shot, that meant the Cougars had a shot. And now here's Taylor Willard getting her acknowledgement.
We talk about the what-ifs with Chicago State this year. They've suffered through a number of injuries, early graduations, one of those what-ifs. Laura Segas was this team's best deep threat, their best three-point shooter. Season could have turned out a little bit differently if Laura had stayed healthy throughout the year and given them that outside threat. And then obviously we spent a little time already talking about Deuce. Taylor Willard, you mentioned her injury last year, suffered a concussion. She had a really nice 1-2 punch in the backcourt with Janiyah Newell last year. This season came in. It was her ball to handle. It was her team to run. She did a really nice job trying to run this system against teams, frankly, where Chicago State came in a little overmatched. You and I were talking about Chicago State's strength of schedule before the game started today, and surprisingly, Chicago State, middle of the pack in the NCAA in strength of schedule. They did not back down from anybody, and Taylor Willard led them throughout these 26 games.
And that's something Andrea Williams really wanted to do, especially with this team going into a new conference next season. You wanted to try to build your schedule. You want to build that strength of schedule and show that you are ready for D1 competition. Not that they're not already a D1 school, but a D1 conference. You'll be playing in the Northeast. You're playing a lot of non-conference teams. You're playing Eastern Kentucky. Next season, this will be NEC matchups as you see the joy for Willard and Segas down on the court here at the JCC.
Yeah, and I certainly don't want to bury the lead. The NEC is obviously huge. That's the big news, right? Chicago State, part of the Northeast Conference, starting next season. So this is their last year as an independent. We talked about Taylor Willard. There she is right there. Comes in averaging 11 a game, but like I said, almost 16 points a game over the last 5. And on the other side for Eastern Kentucky, Chris, this is Antoinette Walker. She's a handful.
Dynamic scorer for this Eastern Kentucky team, a 1,000-point score in her career. Also, she's a player who's transferred. She's from the area, attended St. Francis in Wheaton, Illinois. So she's making a bit of a homecoming here for Eastern Kentucky, going to try to get a win against the Cougars.
Yeah, I was talking to Andrea Williams before the game, and she summed up Antoinette Walker this way. She said she's a volume shooter, but she's also a volume scorer. She had a 38-point outburst against Evansville this year. Chicago State's going to have their hands full with Walker, not to mention the size of this Colonel's team.
3-level scorer, that's my word for Antoinette Walker. She can score at all 3 levels. She's their leader in 3-pointers made and attempted, but also her ability to get to the basket. She's going to cause all sorts of problems for Chicago State. Going a little small today with the 3-guard look here.
Now let's take a look at those starting lineups really quickly. First for Eastern Kentucky, they'll start Ivy Turner, a 5'4" grad student out of Danville, Kentucky, along with Antoinette Walker in the backcourt. They'll all start Caitlin Costner, the Ohio State transfer, getting the start here. Alice Recanati will get the start, the 5'9" freshman out of Bergamo, Italy, and then Jasmine McGinnis-Taylor in the middle, 6'3" senior out of Omaha, Nebraska, transfer from Illinois State. And for the Cougars, starting lineup we've seen a lot of here over the last couple of weeks. Deuce Willard along with Haley Honecker in the backcourt, and then Claire Simmons, Eve Parrish, and Josie Hill up front for Chicago State. And we are underway here in the final game of the 2023-2024 Chicago State women's basketball season. Colonels work the ball into the middle to McGinnis-Taylor over onto the far corner. There's a 3 from the corner, knocked down by Ivy Turner. Quick 3-0 lead for the Colonels.
Ivy Turner, one of 3 players in this starting lineup for Eastern Kentucky, averaging at least 10 a game. She averages right at 10.7.
Foot on the line, so that's a 2 for Turner, and she's known nothing but starting in her college career. This is her 136th career college game. She's had 136 career starts, so she doesn't know what it means to come off the bench as Honecker misses her first shot. Ball knocked around and picked up by Walker. Here comes Antoinette handing it over to Turner, back to Walker. Antoinette with the left hand in the corner to Costner, who drives baseline back to Walker. There's the mid-range jumper. That's pure.
Look how calm that jumper is. She catches the ball. She's already set as she's making a grab. All you have to do is go up. Once again, I mean, of course, this is a battle of 2 D1 schools, but that's a player that's been a part of the transfer portal. That's a D1 athlete.
And there's Deuce right there, knocking down the first bucket of the game for Chicago State from the elbow. 4-2, about a minute 20 here into the first quarter. Cross-court pass. Here's a three from the corner from Recanati. The shot's missed. Rebound hauled down by Walker, which she also does well. She averages about 6 boards a game, comes out of the pack. Eastern Kentucky working it around. Recanati thinks about it, drops it down low to McGinnis-Taylor, who backs into Hill. Josie, I think, gets a piece of it. Shots missed, and Deuce with the rebound.
You like to see Josie be more disciplined defensively there. She actually bid on the up fake and was lucky she didn't get a foul.
Yeah, brought those hands down a little bit, but Josie Hill, one of the best shot blockers in the NCAA, and that's a part of her game that's really stepped up here as of late, Chris, those inside post moves.
I want to see her mentality in this ball game, because for Chicago State, there's no telling how this roster could look next season, especially with how the transfer portal runs the NCAA these days. So for Josie Hill, she could be auditioning for a spot on this roster that she already has.
Yeah, Josie just under 10 points and about 8 rebounds a game this season. She's put up some monster games for Chicago State, though. Here's another jumper from Walker with a hand from Claire Simmons in her face, and she's 2 for 2.
I'd like to see how many looks Andrea Williams gives Walker in this ball game. We've already seen Simmons. We've already seen Willard. At some point, you might have to go bigger.
Deuce dribbles it off her foot. It's scooped up by Turner, and Ivy will lay it up and in.
Turner already with a long 2 and an easy 2, so no, nonetheless, number 2 finding that basket.
They all count the same. We got a whistle, and
that's a shot clock issue. Yeah, shot clock is at 30, should be at 25. So the official gonna get everything back in order here as we try to clean up the logistics at the JCC. There's Josie Hill, like you said, one of the top shot blockers in the nation with total blocks this season.
Yeah, Josie 7th in the NCAA this season, 71 block shots, and she's been on a heater as of late. Chris, 15.6, 12 rebounds, and almost 4 blocks per game in her last 4.
Ooh, nice play, but just the bad pass was way too low. She puts a bounce on that when Willard scores.
Yeah, good idea. The backdoor cut from Taylor, but not a great pass. Here's Walker bouncing it down to McGinnis-Taylor. She goes into Hill, misses, gets the offensive rebound. Josie's there. Good defense by Josie Hill.
I'm not so sure Josie didn't get 2 blocks on that one. I know on the first one she might have gotten a piece of it. That second one, nice job clearing out to get the board.
That's what she does. Josie Hill using that 6'1" reach. Here's a jumper from the top of the key. Claire Simmons with some confidence, knocking it down.
Last game of the season, Aaron, this Cougars going to let it fly. You see Simmons just walk right into that jumper.
That's right. Letting it fly. You got about 36 minutes of hoops left to play this year. Get your shots. And there's a backdoor cut and an easy bucket as Eve Parrish got beat on the back door.
It looked like Parrish just fell asleep there because that was too easy for McGinnis-Taylor. All she did was walk to the post and got an easy catch and lay.
6:20 left in the first. Here's Hill on the left wing. Simmons now. Cougars working around the top. Now it's Willard. Looking to get it down low. There is Parrish. She had a shot, chooses to take it into the paint, uses the left hand, and rolls it up and in.
Eve Parrish has probably been my favorite surprise for the Chicago State team this season. I remember that game, she had 20 rebounds early on, and her ability to do multiple things for Chicago State is key.
That's a travel. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, McGinnis-Taylor trying hard to work into the body of Josie Hill. Josie's given up the size, but she's not giving up anything defensively. She's played McGinnis-Taylor really tough here in the first handful of minutes.
You see Andrea Williams looking on as we've now been joined by some royalty. Number 12, Miss Chicago State. Taylor Norris about to inbound here for the Cougars.
And we talked about some of the Chicago State players who have picked it up as of late. Taylor Norris is another one, Chris. She's averaging over 13 points and almost 7 rebounds a game here over the last 5 games. She's found her shot. She's found her confidence, and she's letting it fly, as you like to say. Here is Josie. Josie kicking it out now. The Simmons up fakes the 3, drops it back to Hill, and Josie's going to be whistled for steps.
And you see Coach Greg Todd for Eastern Kentucky in the background. We had a brief look at him there before Chicago State started that possession. In his 3rd season here at Eastern Kentucky, 52-38 in his 3 seasons. He spent 7 seasons at Morehead State before coming to Eastern Kentucky, and here they are, 19-8, looking good in the A-Sun.
280 career coaching wins for Greg Todd. He actually graduated from Eastern Kentucky back in '83, so getting to coach at his alma mater has got to be a great feeling, and that's what Josie Hill does right there, knocking it out of bounds. That's a 2nd block for Josie. It goes off of the Colonels. It'll be Cougars basketball.
Once again, we talked about, I don't know how this roster will look going into next season, but I would like to see 14 in black on it next year. She's really improved her game all around, especially defensively. Also chirps a little bit more as she locks her opponents down.
Yeah, what we've seen from Josie here this season has really been sort of a maturation process with her as she starting to kind of understand that she can take control of a basketball game. We've seen it in some of the games where Chicago State maybe was playing D2 or NAIA talent where she just dominated. Here, nice D1, feed. Nice feed underneath to Norris. There's an easy bucket. Nice feed from Simmons.
The key to that play also, Norris, she actually got fronted, but she cleared out. She cleared out just enough space where all Simmons had to do was put that ball where Miss Chicago State could get to it, and that was steal.
There's a steal. Norris has it. Smartly gives it up, and that'll be a foul here on Althea Cara Angelis, who checked in.
She's been picking up the ball the entire length of the floor there. Got caught for the reach, and Chicago State tied at 10 here. We play 5:05 here in the first quarter.
We're going to take a TV timeout here. 4 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. Cougars and Colonels all tied at 10 in the finale here at the JCC.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed at ticketsmarter.com.
Cougars and Colonels tied at 10 here midway through the first period. Pretty passing, Claire Simmons, Taylor Norris, the easy bucket.
How about the growth of Miss Chicago State? Taylor Norris, good job of, despite being fronted by Walker down low, able to clear out, get that nice entry pass, no foul, gets to where only she can make the play, catches and goes up for 2. Taylor Norris with the easy deuce. And also, did you know Taylor Norris with 3 rebounds, 300 career boards, if she can make that happen. That's after her first year. She used to come in the gym, just work on rebounding pregame, closing in on a milestone.
Taylor Norris, and she's an absolute animal, especially in the offensive glass, Chris. She has 75 offensive rebounds this year, only 50 defensive. So that ball sitting on that rim on the offensive side, and number 12 is going after it. Watching Taylor Norris develop here over these last 2 years, Chris, has been a really pleasant surprise. You know how comfortable she is from about 16 to 18 feet. She's working on that low post game now. She can be as effective inside as she is out. She's going to give Chicago State a really nice option here moving forward.
And quite the personality as you saw her coming back on the court there. There's Josie Hill off the mark.
Off the back of the rim, Bree Crittenden with the board for the Colonels. Pushing it the other direction, that's Recanati. Crittenden back over to Recanati.
Now you see we got Hill guarding Walker. I was wondering how long it would take Chicago State to put a big on 13 and white.
Just change things up, give her some different looks. Back up top, the 3 from Crittenden off the side of the rim. There's Josie with the board.
You know, also notice the last couple of games, Josie Hill doesn't even come above the free throw line for the other team's possessions. She does not give up possession down low.
Here's another baseline jumper for Josie Hill. This one's good. Give Josie 4 points and a couple of blocks here in the early going. Hill continues to play good basketball.
Once again, Josie getting more comfortable with that jump shot. See, now she's starting to extend her range, and on the defensive end, she's starting to carve out her territory.
Here's a 3 from the left wing is good from Cara Angelis, 13-12, under 4 minutes.
It's Eastern Kentucky team. They like to space the floor so that way they can trap you like this. So that's where they can speed the game up, create open threes.
Simmons takes the 3. She back rims it. There's Taylor with the offensive board, missing the shot. This rebound's hauled down by Sierra McCullough. It's the Colonels' leading rebounder, just about 7 a game. Another 3, same spot, this time back rimmed, but the rebound pulled down by Cara Angelis. It's spun around.
It's worth praising Chicago State's defense. They're doing a good job getting back, especially for Eastern Kentucky. Once again, they want to strike quickly.
Underneath that shot, a wild shot off the top of the backboard, knocked out of bounds. Chicago State basketball off of Walker. I think the Cougars got a bit of a break.
No, there's no think. They got a break. That was Taylor Willard. That was definitely off Taylor Willard's knee. We're right here on the baseline. I clearly saw Taylor run through that ball, but I don't have the whistle or the shirt, so it doesn't matter what I think.
You know, Chris, we haven't mentioned this yet, but I think this is the first time this year the Cougars have gone with the blacks at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Well, we usually have these off-air conversations. We need to wear the blacks at home more, especially on the men's North-and side. They had a South side jerseys. Like, why don't we wear those at home where we're on the South side?
Yeah, I really like those black jerseys as the ball's knocked around, hauled down by the Colonels. They tend to go with the gray jerseys with the green accents. Here we're going with the black for the final game of the season. And underneath, McCullough is fouled by Claire Simmons. McCullough will get a couple of free throws.
I don't know how much weight my word has around here, but whoever is in charge, can we get more blackouts at the JCC?
I think that's the woman right there you need to talk to about that. She's the decision maker. That's Andrea Williams.
Here's McCullough working down low. McCullough actually had a season high, 15 points in Eastern Kentucky's most recent outing. She leads them in rebounding at 7 a game. She is a force for this team in terms of size.
Only a 49% free throw shooter, but that form looked pretty good. Knocked it down, 14-12 as we are under 3 minutes.
She's another one of those players that's used that transfer portal well. It originally started at Charlotte, Tennessee State, now at Eastern Kentucky.
Simmons and Hill talk to each other after the rebound pull down. They both want it. Simmons gets it. Cougars trail by 2 as we're under 3. Claire uses the screen from Hill behind the back. Tries the other direction. Simmons into the paint, and she was shooting that come heck or high water, Chris. That ball was going up by Claire Simmons. She get a couple of free throws here.
Claire Simmons with a couple of and one mixtape crossovers there to try to free herself up. Gets to the basket, but gets fouled, and she'll go to the line as Costner picks up the foul here. So let's see if Claire, she already had a jump shot. For Chicago State, maximizing opportunities. We said this all season. Do not leave points at the stripe in this ball game tonight.
And they didn't leave one there as Claire knocks it down. She's got 5 here in the early going. And we've seen, what we're seeing here in the first quarter is what we've seen from Chicago State really over the second half of the season. Hanging with these teams first quarter, second quarter, into the third quarter before fatigue and foul trouble starts to catch up to them. So stay out of foul trouble if you're Chicago State. And, I mean, you're going to see Taylor Willard probably doesn't come off the court here tonight. Josie Hill may not come off the court tonight. You'll see 2 or 3 players who play the full 40.
Great defense by Norris. Norris is about the 5th Chicago State defender, and I think that's a bad call, personally. I just think Walker and Norris, they sort of met at the same spot. If anything, that's a play on. We'll get another look at it here. You see Norris has her arms out. She is swiping down there, but when the fall actually happens, there is no swipe. Walker's she sort of sold it into the arm, but Walker go to the line.
Well, when you score about 19 a game, coming off a 21-point season, you're going to get those calls. Antoinette Walker, a dangerous scorer. Ball don't lie, though, Chris, right?
I was about to say, ball don't lie. I mean, once again, that was one situation. It's not really a situation where ball was even lying there. That was just a play on. I thought that was 50-50, not really a foul on anyone. They just met at the same spot.
Right. You got to reward that defender for playing defense for as long as Taylor Norris did there. And Walker knocks down 1 and 2. And something really interesting that I noticed about Antoinette Walker last year, Chris, she averaged 21 points a game for this Eastern Kentucky team. She was only 7 of 30 from three-point land. This season, she's added that to her repertoire. Over 100 threes already this season. So she's added that three-point game to her game this season.
Right, that's 100 attempted threes and with 30 makes this season. And also, she still got 1,000 career points as the Cougars miss an easy one down low.
Yeah, the bunny from Norris is missed. Here's a 3 from the corner from Recanati off the back of the rim. Crittenden with the board, and I think she went down underneath Haley Honecker, and Haley thinks going to get whistled for the foul here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because really the only reason Honecker is getting that foul is because she was laying on the floor. Looked like, honestly, I thought Crittenden may have rolled her ankle at first. I was happy to see Crittenden pop right back up, so that's a good sign. And Williams still trying to get her team right as Taylor Norris comes off the court.
Norris out. Parrish back in. Some good minutes by Taylor. He said she needed 3 rebounds for 300. She's picked up 2 so far. So she's at 299, and about 200 of them have been on the offensive board.
Also, I saw Andrew Williams. She was saying, how can Honecker pick up a foul? She's laid out on the floor. That's what she was saying before the inbound.
And they're going to get deuce for a hand check foul here on Recanati. It'll be foul number 5 on Chicago State, so that'll send Eastern Kentucky to the free throw line, I think. Or is that the 4th foul?
Looks like
I think that's the 4th. 4th foul, first on Deuce. So side out of bounds. They'll take it underneath or on the Chicago State end line.
Here comes Walker right back into the ball game. Antoinette Walker, 1,260 career points, 1,037 of them here at Eastern Kentucky. And Aaron, the season isn't even over yet, so she could add on to that total.
Yeah, I talked about her scoring numbers. She had that 38-point game against Evansville earlier this season. She's got a handful of games in the high 20s as that ball bounces to Willard. Chicago Chicago State with a chance to take the lead here. They're down by 1 with 1:40 left. Willard right to the paint, and she'll get herself to the free throw line. And at 5'6" tall, Taylor Willard shows absolutely no fear getting into the paint. She goes to the foul line a lot for this Cougars team.
Taylor Willard, one of the key components to the Chicago State team. You actually thought maybe she would be the guard of the future, so to speak, for Chicago State, especially for this season with her and Jasiah Cunningham. It was unfortunate Taylor had the concussion last year, spent a lot of games on the sideline with glasses and hoodies on, so couldn't really get a feel for NCAA at the D1 level after going to a junior college, going to Grayson. But now here in her final game in Chicago State, hoping to wrap it up with a win.
Head coach Andrea Williams, her second season, and you look at the record over those 2 years, 7-47, not great, but I think what Andrea has done for this program goes well beyond wins and losses. She's brought them some positivity, some energy, and really an optimism for the future that hasn't been there for a long time for this CSU women's program.
Honestly, as the Chicago State goes into the NEC, you could throw these 2 seasons out. If there's an offensive foul, good job by Honaker. As Angeles thought maybe that should have been a foul on Honaker. Instead, it goes against McCullough. Yeah. So Chicago State to take possession here on the offensive foul. Here's the scrum, and yeah, Honaker got right in the way of a monster truck there.
And Haley's another one of those players who shows no fear. She gets her nose in there. This is only her 10th game for Chicago State this season, and she is not afraid to get her nose dirty and get involved in the paint. She had 8 rebounds in a game earlier this month. The ball's taken away from Parrish, and that'll be on Honaker.
Yeah, well, they didn't get her last time. They got her this time. Right call. Honaker was moving as Recanati went inside. And we were talking about Eve Parrish, how good she is with all the multiple things she could do to this team. Still got to work on her ball handling because Recanati just crowded her and took it away, and that's an easy run to the basket leading to the foul.
And that's something Chicago State has missed with Anna Haklichka leaving the program when she graduated back in December. Anna was really one of those extra ball handlers that Chicago State had, and it's forced them to rely specifically until Haley was able to play once the break ended. It really limited them to Taylor Willard and to Claire Simmons ball handling. So yeah, you need another ball handler, especially when you got a team that's going to press you up like this.
And that's exactly the issue for Chicago State. You got to remember your other lead ball handler is out with a torn ACL. Can't even get the ball in here, so they'll take the timeout.
Good timeout, though. 30-second timeout called by Andrea Williams. So we'll keep it here. 1:10 left to go in the first. Chicago State hanging with Eastern Kentucky. Shots not falling right now for either team. Chicago State won for their last 7. Eastern Kentucky only won for their last 8.
I don't know. I think both of these teams had a lot of energy in that pregame, especially Chicago State, with it being senior day. It is a much better crowd than normal here at the JCC. And salute to all the fans that came out yesterday. Had a very good crowd for the men's basketball game as they had a big win to wrap up their season as well against Indiana Northwest.
Got 12 wins this season for the CSU men's program, which was their most in a decade. So congratulations to Gerald Gillian and the men's program, as they're obviously trending in the right direction as well. So I'm really excited to see what both of these programs, both the women and you see the men here, what their program is going to look like next season as part of the NEC.
Can't wait to see Chicago State in the NEC, and I hope Andrea Williams, you just want to see what she can bring into this roster. Now given a full season to recruit for actual postseason play, it should be fun.
Shots blocked off of the shot of Parrish and Recanati into the paint. They kick it around, back up to the top. It's Cara Angeles. She drives with the right hand. She slips and falls, and yeah, she did the splits there. I think they're going to call a foul on Parrish. But yeah, Cara Angeles hops up. She looks okay, but that was awkward.
That was a very awkward fall. I was glad she popped right back up. However, as the call was, that was a bad call because she clearly just outright slipped.
That's what Andrea Williams is saying as well. That was a bad call. That's a second foul on Honaker, so she'll go to the bench, and Cara Angeles will take a couple of free throws here. 72% on the season as we're at 49 seconds left to go in quarter 1.
I feel like we've said that too much in this first quarter. Bad call already as now Angeles misses the first.
Off the rim and out.
I'm an unbiased observer. I'm not trying to get on the officials, but this first quarter has been a bit questionable.
Officials make mistakes too.
Yeah, I know.
It happens. Second free throw is up and good. And we got a substitution here as McGinnis Taylor will check back in. McCullough will go to the bench.
Like how Eastern Kentucky, both of these teams, I mean, Chicago State really only has 6 players, but a lot of subs for Eastern Kentucky. You've seen about 8 players already.
Yeah, rapid fire, like hockey shifts, in and out as quickly as you can. Gets it up to Norris. There's Simmons, the 2-on-1. Claire drops it to Hill. Josie misses the bunny. It's a second layup the Cougars have missed right at the rim here in the first quarter. They're down 2.
Man, Recanati fell down. She basically gifted you a layup.
Recanati has it, steps up, now backs up with Willard on her. 24 on the game clock, 15 on the shot clock.
This game doesn't have any shape. Eastern Kentucky does not have control. I know they have a 2-point lead, but both of these teams, they're still trying to fill each other out.
Yeah, for sure. And is that going to be, they're going to call that on Willard. That was, Crittenden did a nice job drawing that call. Got to give her credit there. She took the contact, went down, the officials bought it. That'll be a foul on Willard.
If we could get a look at that on the replay, I'm hopeful we can see that, because Crittenden, it looked like she actually should have got hit with a moving screen. And you know why she fell down was because when Willard made the contact, that made it look like it was a defensive foul,
right,
as opposed to having it being a moving screen and it going the other way.
Crittenden, a very, very good free throw shooter, 88% on the season. There's 11.7 seconds left. And we talk about the last 30 seconds or so of these quarters being very important for Chicago State. They're down 4 here. Get the ball across half court, try to get a good shot, try to get to the end of the first quarter down by 2, down by 1, but don't turn it over here. Give Eastern Kentucky an opportunity to score in the final seconds. That ball is pushed over to the far side, and she stepped on the out-of-bounds line for sure, Caitlin Costner. It's a little bit easier inbound here for Chicago State along the sideline.
You should not have to use 2 timeouts to get the ball in the first quarter. So this once again underscores the issues that Chicago State has with only 1 ball handler, because you have Jacia Cunningham out. Claire Simmons is a part-time ball handler. Eve Parrish can ball handle, but is still developing. So for Chicago State, it's just a hazard of, 1, not being in the conference. This is the last game we have to worry about that, the hazard of not being in the conference for Chicago State.
Yeah, the referee's taking a look at the clock because only 0.5 of a second ran off the clock there, and the ball was tipped on the inbound as it made its way over to the sideline. So we should be looking at least a few more seconds off the clock. And Chris, you're right about not wanting to take 2 timeouts in the first quarter to talk about how to break a press, and I think Andrea Williams right now is just trying to hang on to the end of the first quarter.
It's not even breaking the press. It's just getting the ball in. Like they had to call the timeout earlier because they couldn't get it in, and then on this play, Willard threw it to she passed on 2 teammates, threw it to Hill, and had it not been touched by Costner, it would be Eastern Kentucky ball.
They're looking up at the clock. We'll see what they put up there. I didn't even see anything come up on the replay monitor, so I'm
right. I don't think they could get the look.
Okay, so they put it at exactly 10 seconds.
Yeah, it looked like the screen didn't work. It just said replay.
Right.
It said instant replay down there.
Plenty of time for the Cougars to get something here. They're down 4. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. It's inbounded to Hill. Josie will dribble it across the timeline with Walker throwing it down low, looking for Taylor Norris. It's stolen away, and that'll likely do it. The half-court shot by Recanati. Ooh, comes up just shy. And that is our first 10 in the books. Cougars hanging with the Colonels. They're down 4. Chris and I will be back with the second quarter on the other side. This is Chicago State Women's Basketball on YouTube Live.
Future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition free.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Chris Rouse, Aaron Schellen back here for the final time at the Jones Convocation Center for this 2023-24 Chicago State women's basketball season. Cougars 1-25, looking for an upset over a 19-win Eastern Kentucky Colonels team out of the Atlantic Sun. And Chris, not a bad first 10 minutes for the Cougars. Obviously, they struggled getting the ball inbounds against some of that pressure, but when they were able to get into their offense, they got some good looks.
Chicago State so far, right now it's a long feeling out process. Me and Sam talked about this in the men's game yesterday. Just a lengthy feeling out process where the game didn't take any shape. It is carried over to the women's side of things. As there you see one of the drum majors here, one of the band leaders for Chicago State. She usually has some of the best moves here at the JCC, and hopefully her spirit can infect the Cougars and get them moving back ahead on the scoreboard here as we roll along.
Chris,
see how I did that? I'm a pro.
You're a pro. You are a pro. My partner Chris Rouse, he is a pro's pro. Do you look at that feeling out process as a part of the fact that they're an independent team and they don't have a conference, they don't have teams that they play twice a year that they're comfortable with, so every game you're seeing something new for the first time?
That's part of it, and then also for Chicago State, you haven't played in a few weeks. You know, the last time they played was against Long Island, so I'm not really sure how the practice schedule is going for the Cougars the last few weeks, but you haven't had any live game reps in 2 weeks.
That last game for the Cougars was back on February 5th out in Long Island. That was a game the Cougars led by 4 going into the fourth quarter, but things just sort of went sideways for Chicago State in that final 10 minutes. They ended up dropping a 10-point decision. Here's Norris. That's Taylor's comfort zone, and she rolls it around and in.
The key to that play is how quick Josie Hill made that decision. She caught it. It's not there. I'm going to kick it out. Taylor Norris splashed it in. Great teamwork by Norris and Hill.
20 seconds gone, and now they have Norris on Antoinette Walker. So you're right, a lot of different looks for Walker. Taylor had a really good defensive possession against her earlier, and that's another questionable call. Not a lot of contact there, but Walker will get back to the free throw line, and Andrea Williams is beside herself at this point.
And for good reason, because once again, that was Walker really, once again, she's just running. She's scooping the ball up and sort of just running towards out of bounds, making it seem like she's being fouled. And now I'm looking at Coach Williams. She's saying, Taylor, hands straight up, because they're getting her on the swipes.
Walker back rims the first free throw, and Chris, this is fouls are an issue for Chicago State because they only have 8 healthy players. They'll probably only play 6 for any period of time. You got Princess Hester and Izzy Tavau on the bench.
They got 9 dressed.
They aren't going to play very much.
9 dressed because Carter is active tonight.
Zakiya Carter as well.
And Taylor Norris is the 6th woman on this roster, so she already has 2 fouls. So that's tough for you if the 6th woman already is in foul trouble off the bench.
Yeah, she's got 2 and Willard has 2. Chicago State again struggling to get the ball in. They get it into Norris. Taylor Willard almost has her head taken off, but is able to work it across the timeline. Simmons on that far wing up top. Parrish.
Long feeling out process, Aaron, but as long as this game is being played at a slow pace, it favors Chicago State. You get to keep those legs full of energy.
And I got to not turn it over there as Costner drives to the paint for 2.
Good job getting back, but once again, like you said, you cannot turn the ball over. That's 2 turnovers from Parrish on the same spot on the wing.
6 turnovers for Chicago State already. Hill into the paint. She kicks it back to Parrish. Eve with the jumper off the back rim, no good. Hill battles for the rebound, but it's pulled away by McGinnis Taylor.
Hill covered a lot of ground trying to get that board, but was unsuccessful.
Recanati backing it out. Walker, the long jumper off the rim, no good. McGinnis Taylor is there, and she'll put it up over Hill for the easy bucket. So it leads up to 7 now with a minute and a half gone by in the second quarter.
You got to work on that discipline if you're Josie Hill. That's about the 3rd time I've said she's jumped on the head and shoulder fake and then allowed the opponent to score.
Willard with the little turnaround 8-foot jumper.
There's Taylor Willard eluding defenders as Hill now trying to get back for Chicago State.
And Chicago State falls asleep defensively as Cara Angeles is able to get the easy bucket. Simmons spins out of trouble. She breaks the press, gets it down underneath to Parrish, who lays it up and in. Nice look, Claire Simmons.
That was lucky. Costner actually should have had the steal. She hit it right back to Claire, which let the Cougars push it up the floor.
Again, Chicago State falling asleep a little bit defensively, just getting back high off the glass. McGinnis Taylor, she just looks so casual down low, but a couple of buckets right in a row here for her.
That looked like the Adam Sandler bank shot in grown-ups. It was so perfectly off that corner of the square of the glass.
I have 7:40 left to go in the first half. 29-22. There's Willard again. Deuce knocks it home.
Nice shot by Taylor Willard. That's just a runner in traffic. Floats it up. Taylor also looks like she's grimacing as she runs down the floor.
She's got 6. 7:25 left to go now. Recanati drives in on Parrish. Kicks it over to Costner, throws it up off the glass for 2.
After I said this game is taking no shape, now we're just going to play at breakneck speed. We can't even get our sentences in.
Yeah, layups on either end. Layup lines commence. There's Josie. Josie has it knocked away by Recanati. Taken back by Hill. Hill down low to Parrish. Parrish with the left hand off the rim, no good. Walker with the board.
Watch Costner opening this corner, bottom of the screen.
Recanati in the paint. Up top, Walker will step into a 3, rolls it around. Hill with the board. Deuce now for Chicago State. As Norris down low tries to go up and under, and they're going to get Norris for the offensive foul, and that's 3 for Taylor now here in the first half.
No, they'll keep it here. That's going to be on Walker, or are they?
I think they called it.
He showed 1-3. So, yeah, so you got it right. It is Norris. They put the 3 on the board, so her third.
Yeah, it's the 3rd on Norris, so she'll likely have to check out here.
Yep.
She will.
And that's what we talked about.
Honecker.
The 6th woman. The one sub you have already in foul trouble.
Have Haley Honecker back into the game for Chicago State. So they go a little bit smaller, replacing Norris with Honecker. Haley standing 5'3", Norris at 5'10". So they lose some size, get a little bit more ball handling out there. 6.5 now in the first half.
Also, Walker out of the game here for Eastern Kentucky. She's having a rough shooting start. They haven't really found any rhythm as a team. They can't space the floor to shoot the way they want to.
Recanati to McCullough over to Turner. Turner drives in on Deuce. Taylor has to be careful. She has 2 fouls as well. And 2-on-2 crime right there as Turner goes around Deuce for the bucket.
Turner did a good job of using her arm to shield because that could have been a hook, but luckily she didn't hook Willard's hip.
Step back jumper by Willard is no good. Another rebound. Sierra McCullough. 6 minutes now left in the first half. Here's a 3 from Taylor. Back rim over the top. Chicago State basketball.
Yeah, we saw Ivy Turner. She hit that 2 earlier on the opposite wing. The last few times she's had the ball, she's worked on Willard. They see Coach Todd for Eastern Kentucky. His team up 9. They found their rhythm. They're starting to push the tempo here against Chicago State. Cougars, like we said, they just might not have the legs to keep up with them.
Taylor Willard leading all scorers with 8. Claire Simmons was 6. Turner and Angeles was 6 for Eastern Kentucky. Here's Hill. Josie driving into McCullough. Spins into the double team. And Josie, we've seen it a couple of times. She's spinning towards the middle of the paint, and she spins into that double team. If she spins baseline, there's nobody there for Eastern Kentucky to help.
That's just her showing she's right-handed. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, good point, yes.
When you got your back to the basket, you're just going to turn. You're the strong hand naturally. That's just one of those things about coaching. You got to teach players to spin baseline when they're right-handed.
5.5 left to go in the first half. 9-point Colonel lead. Here's Costner. Costner into the corner now. The 3 from Angeles. Back rim, no good. Ball's knocked around. Pulled down by Turner. Swung back around, tipped away, and Andrea Williams showing the quick hands.
Good job by Coach getting those hands up after Claire Simmons got those hands up and deflected it right off her coach. They see Claire fired up after making a play.
Princess Hester will get some minutes here for Chicago State as Eve Parrish will go to the bench.
Princess Hester has developed that jump shot. It's certainly improved this year.
Ball's inbounded to Honecker. Again, Chicago State having some issues in the backcourt, but they do eventually get it to Willard. Taylor, the quick double team, they back it off.
Simmons is open.
Down low to Hill. Hill with the little turnaround right hand hook, no good, but good look. Crittenden was with the board.
But that was the right spin, actually. She spun right to the basket, unfortunately left it short.
Costner on the near wing will drive around Princess Hester down to McCullough. McCullough into Hill. Josie gets a piece of it. She gets the rebound, goes up through a couple of black jerseys, and is able to push it up and in. That leads balloon to 11 now.
Shot McCullough didn't get a travel or an offensive foul. She looked like she jumped to the basket on that first retrieve.
Deuce has it knocked away, and it'll stay Chicago State basketball. And we're going to have a TV timeout here on the floor. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. Chicago State hasn't scored in about 2.5 minutes. Colonels are up by 11 here on YouTube Live.
Set your future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition free.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
4 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the first half of the final CSU women's basketball game this season. You see Andrea Williams still coaching her team up here, Chris, in game 27.
And you love to see it. And honestly, I just want to say, I'm excited to see what the future holds for Andrea Williams. You're going into the NEC. Here's a chance now to recruit for a conference. Yeah. I don't think anyone can really understand how hard that must be. Trying to recruit for a program, which honestly, no disrespect, hasn't really been much of a program the last decade, hasn't had a lot of wins. So now you're just trying to show, hey, this is Chicago State. Now going into the NEC, you have a chance to recruit not just Chicago, but now East Coast for East Coast competition. Yeah. And it's looking like Chicago State. You don't know what this roster could look like, but with the transfer portal, you never know the changes Andrea Williams can make. We could be looking at a whole new team possibly, or we could see some returners.
Could see some returners. We could see a combination, and obviously Chicago State immediately becomes by far the largest market in the NEC conference, and that alone will give them a bump. Right now, Sacred Heart is the top team in the NEC. New Haven, Connecticut, not exactly a mecca. So, Chicago State is going to have some recruiting advantages, and Andrea Williams, I truly believe, is the right person. You and I were talking about this before the game. We're thrilled that she's going to be the one who has the opportunity to lead them into the NEC.
And that's not just an Andrea Williams thing. That's a Gerald Gillian thing as well. You're just happy that these two coaches are going to get the opportunity to finish what they started, right? Whether that be going to the NEC and failing or being a success, at least let them take the reins of what they've started.
Cougars inbound the basketball. They're down 11. Here's Simmons. Nice move from Claire to get some space. Puts up the jumper, front rims it. McCullough's there for the rebound. So 20-16 first quarter. Eastern Kentucky outscoring Chicago State 15-8 here in the second quarter has opened this lead up to 11 points. A little bit faster pace. You talked about this, Chris, as McCullough's called for the travel. You talked about this in the first quarter. As long as the pace of the game stays slow, the Cougars can hang around. The minute the Colonels start to pick up the pace with the press and with fast break and with running, Chicago State's going to struggle to hang with them just because of the lack of depth.
Izzy Taval is in the game, and she is one of the fan favorites of the band here for Chicago State, number 31, coming into your shot right now.
Yeah, everybody loves Izzy. She's always got a smile on her face when she's playing, and it's infectious. So she's in the game right now. Haley Honecker dribbles into trouble, gets it out to Hill on the near wing. Josie kicks it into Honecker. Haley behind the back to Hill. Josie with the 18-foot baseline jumper, and that's good.
That's a great shot for Hill, but that's one of those things for Chicago State. You like to see them clean up. Two players in the same spot. That could have been easy defense for Eastern Kentucky.
Josie now with 6 points, 3 rebounds, and a couple of blocks as Honecker knocks it away.
Good hands. Speaking of defense, there's Haley Honecker, only getting to play half the season after transferring over from Little Rock, showing that she can shoot and be a 3-and-D contributor to the Cougars roster.
Yeah, Haley's the only player on this Chicago State roster who has a positive assist-to-turnover ratio this year, Chris. So she really has given the Cougars a little bit more consistency in the backcourt with the ball handling. Shot hasn't necessarily been there yet this year, but she's given them that ball handling that they haven't had as Turner bangs home the 3.
We're talking about the pace. Eastern Kentucky 9 points in the paint. Chicago State only 2. Now Eastern Kentucky finally finding their range. Second 3 made today.
Pinned in the corner, Willard, and that'll be a foul on Turner, grabbing Princess Hester.
Yeah, good call. She was trying to run through the ball to get the steal. When she missed, she came down, got all of the wrist of Princess Hester. Izzy Tavau to trigger the inbound now.
Yeah, Chicago State with both Izzy and Princess Hester out there, a couple of players who don't normally look for their offense. So this is really going to come down to Josie Hill and Taylor Willard trying to create some offense for Chicago State, and Josie will go to the free throw line.
Got a crystal ball over there?
Yeah, that's right.
The ball immediately went right down to the 14 in black. She tried to post up on 14 in white. So 14 on 14 crime as McCullough harms Hill, but Hill go to the line for 2.
Josie on the season, 9.2, 7.2 rebounds, 2.7 blocks, 83% free throw shooter, the 6'1 sophomore out of Rapid City, South Dakota. Right on those of you who aren't up with your geography, Rapid City right on the border of South Dakota and Wyoming. So that's about as far west in South Dakota as you're going to get. That's way out there. She makes them both. 3:20 left to go in the half. This is Recanati. Gets it to Walker, who hasn't had a great shooting first half. She's now 2 for 8 shooting. McCullough has that shot blocked by Josie Hill. That goes out of bounds. That's the 4th block in the half for Josie Hill, but she loses control of the ball out of bounds.
I can see Josie's face. Like I said, we're on the baseline. I can see Josie's face. As soon as she lost it, you could see her just go, I should have had that one. As soon as she let it slip.
3:09, shot clock reset underneath, just losing Costner on the cut, and that's an easy bucket for Caitlin Costner.
That's a simple inbound play. That's just a wrap. You just run the player right to the block and bounce it in for the lay-in.
Corner Haley Honecker for 3. Oh, rolls around and out. Cougars don't take a lot of threes. That's only their first 3-point attempt of the game. Just missed as that ball's kicked out to Costner. Costner finds Recanati in the corner. 15-foot jumper from Recanati. Misses everything. McCullough's there to clean it up, though.
Yeah, you can say that about almost every Eastern Kentucky game. McCullough leads the team in boards. Great job clearing out, getting the board, going up and in for 2.
30-second timeout called here by Andrea Williams with 2:39 left to go in the first half. This lead is ballooned here to 14. Chicago State being outscored 22-12 here in the second quarter. Shooting wise, I mean, they're shooting. Chicago State shooting 42%, Eastern Kentucky shooting 46%. They're relatively even at the free throw line. What's the difference here today, Chris?
Eastern Kentucky getting right to the basket, going right to the front door of the JCC, so to speak, against Chicago State. 22 in the paint compared to 12. And then also, they have a second unit. Chicago State doesn't have a second unit. 13-4 in bench points. So if you're getting 13 extra points from your reserves, I mean, the advantage is 14. You got a +9 in reserve points. So that alone right there is the difference for Eastern Kentucky.
Cougars need to do a much, much better job on the glass. They're being out-rebounded 24-11. 11 offensive rebounds already for the Colonels here in the first half. So Cougars need to do a better job at not giving the Colonels second and third opportunities. They want to hang around. They're down 14 right now. 2 minutes, 39 seconds left in the first half.
Aaron, right now, Eastern Kentucky +5 fast break points, +9 bench points. What's that deficit
There's
for
your
Chicago State?
14-point spread. Honecker over to Hill. Josie to Tavau. Izzy almost got away with one there. Willard in the corner to Honecker. Honecker bounce pass to Hill. Josie foul line to Hester. Back to Hill. 17-foot jumper for Josie is good.
I like that ball movement. Obviously, aside from Izzy almost traveling there, that was good ball movement by Chicago State. But after she got away with the walk there, she did a good job relocating to the block to clear out for the board if needed. Josie
Hill, the first player in double figures with 10. Costner misses the shot. McCullough with another offensive rebound, and that'll be a foul on Josie. That'll be her first.
And that's what I'm talking about, playing with much more fire, or much more visible fire, is Josie Hill. You see her pick up that foul. She gets on the floor and immediately slaps the floor. As she comes right up, here's that slap of the floor right about there. There's that fire I'm talking about from Josie Hill.
McCullough now only 10 minutes. She has 9 rebounds. So you talked about her rebounding prowess. She's getting it done here for Eastern Kentucky. She has 9 rebounds. Chicago State has 11.
One of those players that's used that transfer portal, as we mentioned earlier. Formerly a Charlotte 49er, formerly played out in Tennessee, now here at Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, Ivy Turner, Antoinette Walker, Sierra McCullough, Caitlin Costner, Jasmine McGinnis-Taylor, and Nakia Thompson, who we haven't seen yet, all transfers from D1 schools.
And also I meant Tennessee State, out in Tennessee, not at the University of Tennessee.
Yes, McCullough, the 5th-year senior out of Opelika, Alabama, makes 1 out of 2. Simmons will drive into the paint, put it up with the right hand, rolls around and in.
Good job by Claire Simmons. Number 32 gives Chicago State 32.
Minute 40 left now in the first half. Recanati using the screen from McCullough to get some space, puts up the right-handed runner and is fouled by, I think, Princess Hester?
Yeah, it's Hester. That was switching everything defense for Chicago State. So you saw Simmons just try to pass her off to Hester. And now at the free throw line, there's a teaching moment. Simmons and Hester having words with one another. Communication on defense. You like to see that.
Alice Recanati at the free throw line. The freshman out of Bergamo, Italy, averaging about 10.5 points, 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists per game. That free throw was about as far down as it could go without staying down.
Eastern Kentucky leaving a lot at the stripe here. 11-point lead for them, however, despite that.
She makes 1 out of 2. It's a 12-point lead with a minute and a half left to go here in the first half. Willard, top of the key. Finds Simmons on the near wing. She holds. Hester. Again, Willard and Hill trying to generate the offense off the side of the backboard. Rebound pulled down by Bridget Fox, who's checked in for the first time, the 5th-year senior out of Altoona. She has it here. Ooh. A little fake pass down low to McGinnis-Taylor, and that's going to be an offensive foul.
And McGinnis-Taylor lowered the shoulder into Josie Hill as she tried to lay it up and in, and also took a bit of a spill there. She tripped over Josie, turns it over to Chicago State. Nice feed by Fox. Right there, just that shoulder right into Josie's chest, and then there you see the trip.
We're under a minute. Cougars looking to get this to 10 or less as we go to the end of the first half, 44-32. Hester down low to Tavau. Izzy, nice spin move from Izzy, the up and under off the rim and out.
Man, they were about to explode here. Everyone stood up for Izzy, but she just left it short.
The quick spin, I didn't know Izzy had that kind of speed. I mean, that was a very quick spin to get herself some space. Recanati for 3, that's gonna miss. Are they gonna call Hill for a foul?
Yeah, they said she was shooting a 3, so Hester caught Recanati.
Hester, Princess Hester, yeah.
So Recanati will go to the line for 3. Chance to extend this lead to 15 for Eastern Kentucky.
These are going to be free throws 17, 18, and 19 already in the first half for Eastern Kentucky. Chicago State only 6 for 6. And when you're a team that's not very deep, you got to stay out of foul trouble. And again, Chris, Eastern Kentucky leaving a lot of shots. Yep,
oh,
Hester, yeah, absolutely in that space. Good
hip
call.
Check. I know you're a hockey guy. That's certainly a hip check.
Yeah, that's a good call by the official. We bag on them when they get something wrong. We got to call it when they get it right, and that was certainly the right call by the officials there.
Yeah, no disagreement on my part here. That was clearly a foul. I mean, just how I'm surprised she didn't get a landing space foul, honestly.
Checking in for the first time is Rafaela Toussaint, the 6-foot senior out of Kingston, Ontario, Canada. And along with her, we are down to 32 seconds now. It's Kailani Lindsay who's checked in for Eastern Kentucky as well. Turnaround, or the steal for the Colonels. Up at the top of the key, Recanati. Shot clock's off. Recanati with Willard. Got to be careful if you're Taylor. You got 2 already here in the first.
It's going to be a high screen and roll for Walker.
Recanati in the corner. Here's a 3 from Fox, and that's good.
Detroit Mercy transfer. Bridget Fox cashing in the 3 to end the half.
Tough way to end the half for Chicago State. A couple of free throws on a 3-point attempt, a 3-pointer at the buzzer. Cougars will go to the locker room down 17 at the break, 49-32. Chris and I will be back with first half highlights and a look ahead to the second half here on the other side. This is Chicago State women's basketball on YouTube Live.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at ticketsmarter.com.
That's our destination. Here's where we are now. Sam Brief, Taylor Norris. You ready to spiral?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. So Taylor, you're what I like to call like a spicy personality, right? You're always smiling, you're always talking. Tell me when you became sort of an extrovert.
Probably my whole life. I just grew up with this personality. Everybody points out my personality when they get to meet me, so it's just been my whole life.
You're wearing a lovely pair of Crocs, and you've got, what are they called? The little
Gibbets.
thing? The gibbets. It says Scorpio. So you're a Scorpio.
Yes.
I know your birthday's October 26th.
Everyone does.
What's the most Scorpio thing about you?
Oh gosh. Probably just outgoing. I hear that a lot. Scorpios are outgoing, so that.
You're from Rochester,
Yes.
New York.
Yes.
Tell me something about your hometown that I don't know.
Oh, that you don't know. I mean, you know it's cold and it snows all the time. But probably that a lot of people think Rochester's a small town, not so fun. But if you go there, it's a lot to experience. And the people are amazing.
Well, yeah, I know one person from Rochester.
Right.
Taylor Norris. She's pretty
perfect,
cool.
So.
Taylor, tell me when you fell in love with basketball.
Probably 6th grade. My mom introduced it to me, and from there, I just sparked a natural talent. I mean, I'm still trying to improve my skills and everything, but yeah, I still have a love for the game, and it'll probably never stop.
Give me a professional basketball player that most resembles Taylor Norris.
A lot of people don't know her, but they know her because she just passed away, but her name is Lucia. I don't know her last name, but Coach introduced us to her, and I didn't even know her before Coach introduced us to her. But she's just an amazing person. I mean, she was the first woman drafted into the NBA, I believe, and her game was just amazing, just watching old videos, and I just hope I can be like her one day.
Give me the scouting report for defending Taylor Norris when we play one-on-one.
Don't let me get past you, because if I get past you, you're not recovering.
Taylor, if I went to a movie theater with you right now, what sort of candy or concession would you get?
Okay, I would have to get a large water with a bunch of ice and a Snickers bar.
Large water, bunch of ice, and Snickers because you're not you when you're hungry, right?
Yes, you know that.
We've reached it. We're huffing and puffing
Yes,
a
we
little
are.
bit, but we're at the top of the staircase.
Yes.
Taylor Norris, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at ticketsmarter.com.
Dr. Carroll took the helm at Chicago State in September of 2022. Her main top priority was to find us a conference. And today, we are celebrating the culmination of that process.
We are here today because we've been offered and we've accepted conference membership invitation to the Northeast Conference. I'm really happy to say that Chicago State in South Beach style will be bringing our talents to the Northeast Conference. Over the last 18 months, Chicago State University has been engaged in several conversations, meetings, phone calls, emails, trips, consultants, in order to really make this happen for our student athletes. At the end of the day, two things really aligned, and that was opportunity and fit. I want to thank Commissioner Morris for your leadership of the Northeast Conference. Your leadership with tenacity and leading really made it a good fit for us, and we are happy to call the NEC home. I would like to acknowledge our head coaches, our support staff, and our student athletes. Over the last year and a half, you've done something very difficult in this industry, and that is compete as a Division I independent. If you are not familiar with conference realignment and membership invitations, one of the things I can share with you is while the athletic directors are the ones that you all see day to day, these decisions happen on a presidential level. So I want to take time to really just thank President Scott for out of all the things that the president should be doing, she really carved out special time for Chicago State athletics to make sure that this was a priority for not just myself, but for her. So for that, I really want to say thank you for getting us to today.
I am so excited to be here today to celebrate Chicago State University's acceptance into the Northeast Conference. This is a special day for the Cougar community and the entire NEC community. I'd like to thank President Scott and Monique Carroll for their leadership, as well as the Board of Directors or the Board of Trustees here at Chicago State University. It is your leadership and your vision in getting us to here today is incredibly impressive. It is clear that Chicago State University is in good hands with leaders like these, and the NEC community is so thrilled to be part of the magic that you are building here on campus and in this community. The NEC presidents, as Monique mentioned, this is a presidential-driven decision, not only here on campus, but within our conference structure. Our presidents voted unanimously to offer acceptance or offer this invitation to the NEC, and we're excited to activate a long-term partnership.
I am thrilled, as your president, to accept this invitation to join the NEC. My top priority as a president is to strive what is best for CSU and its students. This conference will help ensure an incredible future for our program. The strong alignment between the conference members and university in our values and mission made this an easy decision. We are joining a conference that not only offers a first-class competitive experience, but also a conference that shares our commitment to supporting student-athletes' holistic success and advancing the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know that the landscape of collegiate sports is ever-evolving. This move advances the university's position in that landscape. Our student-athletes will access elevated athletic programming, and the NEC Conference will help Chicago State reach a larger audience of potential students beyond the borders of our city. Our brand will have a bigger presence in major East Coast markets like Boston, New York, and Philadelphia. Thank you to the Board of NEC for your unanimous approval, Commissioner Morris for your visit here today and your partnership, and thank you to our coaches and student athletes. Together, Cougars are reaching new heights.
At At the Chicago State University College of Pharmacy, discoveries happen daily and students become industry leaders. If you are looking for a rewarding profession combining patient care, scientific research, and opportunities to give back to your community, CSU is an exceptional place to prepare with 3,000 square feet of state-of-the-art lab and research facilities and renowned faculty. No bachelor's degree is required. Learn more about CSU's College of Pharmacy by visiting csu.edu/College of Pharmacy.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. At Chicago State University, you'll find 5 academic colleges, 56 degree programs in all. Our School of Pharmacy is #1 in the Midwest for educating minority student scholars. We're ranked first in Illinois and second nationwide among public universities for educating and supporting African American student scholars. We've achieved 100% job placement in nursing, pharmacy, and occupational therapy. We're #2 in the nation for graduating Black physics majors. For economic mobility, CSU is in the top 4% nationwide among all colleges and universities. And you get the attention you deserve because on average, there are only 10 students for every faculty member.
We have some of the best professors, some of the best mentors.
You have people that uplift you, that will open doors for you, that will help you.
It's an opportunity where you're able to make a change.
Chicago State University. Put your career in motion, your connection to friends and professors in motion. Put your future in motion. Chicago State University.
Second half action about to get underway here at the Jones Convocation Center, Chicago State, Eastern Kentucky. Chris Rouse, my partner. I'm Aaron Schellen. And Chris, a 4-point lead at the end of the first quarter, ballooned to 17 going into halftime. What was the difference between the first 10 and the second 10?
Well, honestly, Aaron, in that first quarter, it didn't seem like this game had any shape. In that second quarter, Eastern Kentucky found some rhythm. They were able to make this a fast-paced game. They were able to hit some shots and get to the basket. It was that point in the paint advantage for Eastern Kentucky. That was a decisive advantage. They won by +8 in the paint, and also they had +13 in reserves. We're looking at the first half highlights, but the first half stats for Chicago State, they were hanging around. They shot 43%. Eastern Kentucky shot 46%. It's just a matter of Chicago State not having enough weapons. 3 players have 26 of their 32. Meanwhile, Eastern Kentucky, they have a player, Ivy Turner, leads with 9, and they have 5 players with at least 6 points.
Individual stats for Chicago State. Josie Hill led the way, 10 points, 3 rebounds for the Cougars. Deuce Willard and Claire Simmons each had 8. You talked about that balanced scoring for Eastern Kentucky. They played 11 players in that first half, Chris. 9 of them scored. And for Chicago State, really for me, the one number that I look at before this first half and why Chicago State finds themselves down 17 here at the half are those rebounding numbers. Chicago State was out-rebounded 27-11, Chris, in that first half, with McCullough almost out-rebounding Chicago State on her own. She had 9. Cougars only had 11. How do you do a better job rebounding against a team that's bigger than you?
And once again, it's one of those things for Chicago State. You're going to have to just provide different looks. We've seen them do a good job of having to use Norris and Hill. That's the guard Antoinette Walker on the perimeter. So what that does, that leaves Chicago State a little bit small on the interior. So for Chicago State, Andrea Williams has to decide, what do you want to give up here? Do you want to give up size inside or on the perimeter?
So far, they've made the decision to give up the size. They've actually done a really nice job on Antoinette Walker. Yeah. She only has 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting. Cougars have done a great job against this Colonel's leading scorer. She averages almost 19 19 a game. She was averaging 21 a game a year ago. Cougars held her to 6 on 2 of 8 shooting, but they're getting beat inside. McCullough doing a really nice job. McGinnis-Taylor doing a nice job for Chicago State as well. Got to do a bit better job in the paint if they want to crawl back into this. The other problem I see with Chicago State is that they're not a big three-point shooting team. So these deficits of 10, 12, 15 points in this world of college basketball today generally isn't that big a deal because teams are launching up threes left and right. Cougars don't play that way.
And it goes back to what we talked about all season long. You have to maximize opportunities. Chicago State 0 for 2 so far from beyond the arc in this ball game.
Back underway here in the second half. Colonels will start with the basketball. Same starters for both teams. Turner, Walker, Costner, Recanati, and McGinnis-Taylor for Eastern Kentucky. Willard, Honecker, Hill, Parrish, and Simmons for Chicago State. There is Willard to the bucket for 2, and she's the second Cougar in double figures. She has 10.
You see Chicago State up the floor in a hurry as Willard went right to the basket on the runner.
Taylor underneath. She gets pinned down there, is able to find Walker on the baseline, misses the shot. Another offensive rebound, but it's knocked around and picked up by Eve Parrish.
I want to see Eastern Kentucky's next possession. How long will it take for Coach Todd to take a timeout after his team just took 2 quick shots like that?
Josie Hill from 18 off the front of the rim.
All right, that'll settle everything down here because that was 2 very quick shots for Eastern Kentucky on those last 2 trips.
Recanati working it down low to McGinnis-Taylor. She gets it underneath to Walker, who a little spin move with the right hand.
You see him settle down. All it took, 1 deep breath, get into a half-court set, pass it to the wing, work it inside. Walker gets an easy deuce.
Minute 10 gone here in the third quarter. Willard in the corner. Simmons hands it off to Honecker.
Chicago State bench wanted a jump shot. It's often the Cougars pass out of open threes, and it results in either turnovers or no shot at all, which, well, that is no shot at all, which is the case here.
Yeah, Josie switched those pivot feet, and quick substitution here in the second half. In the third quarter is Norris will check in for Simmons.
See, often it results in either a bad shot, no shot at all, or a turnover, and that's one of those situations where you got a mix of both.
8.5 left to go in the third. Recanati top of the key. Coming into the corner. Turner, but they work it up to Walker, and they just walk away from Antoinette Walker. And of all the players on this Eastern Kentucky team you don't want to leave alone, that's the one right there, number 13.
Once again, that goes back to Josie Hill not trying to come above the free throw line. It's almost like she had a force field, and that's why you never go in the air unless you're sure you're going to let that thing fly. And Willard turns it over. Norris thought she's going to shoot, and Norris abandoned the passing lane.
And Taylor was doing what she does, attacking the offensive glass, but that pass went to where she was standing. That's another turnover for Chicago State. Give them 11 here through 2 quarters and 2 minutes.
Salute to those fans over there in the Raising Cane's Cougars Den. Finally got a sponsored student section over here at the JCC.
Costner with the easy bucket. Yeah, we got a good crowd here tonight. By far the largest crowd for Chicago State women's game. And you know, I made this comment to you at halftime. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. It's livelier. It feels more energetic as Deuce is bumped on the baseline.
I know you weren't here for the game yesterday, but that was one of the best crowds I've ever seen here at the JCC for a Chicago State game. I know this place can get live for the high school games as you see Willard get a nice pop on the chin driving baseline.
And I just think that goes to show that there's a positive mindset about this Chicago State program, both men and women. Willard uses the screen from Hill, back to Josie. Josie up top to Honecker now.
That just goes to show we've had some really good crowds here all season. I remember the game against Bethune-Cookman. They had a pretty good influx of fans as well. So Chicago State, like I said, there's something to be had out here out south.
Honecker for 3 at the buzzer. There's the rebound for Taylor Norris. Taylor back up with it. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Chicago State basketball.
Here's Taylor Norris looking at Andrea Williams. She told her, you got to bring that shot down. That was straight off the glass, and as a result, Turner knocked it out, stays here.
21-point Eastern Kentucky lead. Willard spins in the paint. Wow. Circus shot, Deuce Willard with the left hand.
Yeah, she saw Antoinette Walker do that a few times in the first half. It resulted in fouls for Walker. Willard said, I don't need the whistle.
A wide open 3 attempt off the rim, and there's a rebound for Norris.
I like the energy Chicago State is playing with. It's just a matter of how sustainable is this energy. They got a sudden burst of energy here to start this second half.
Yeah, you hope to think that with this being the last game of the season that they'll muster whatever's left. Taylor Norris in the paint. There's a bucket for Taylor. She's got 6.
And Chicago State carving out her ground, letting us know this is her territory here at the JCC.
Yeah, she's got a couple buckets down low to go along with a 20-foot jumper. So inside and out game for number 12. Into the paint and off the rim and out, Ivy Turner, but she'll get a couple free throws out of it.
Good job by Ivy Turner. That's how you settle down this crowd here at the JCC. Chicago State starting to gain some energy. Turner drives on Honaker. Honaker, I believe, got caught on the hand check there. That sent Turner to the stripe.
That's the third on Haley, first on Chicago State here in the third quarter.
Notice now they're going with a lot of McCullough for Walker, so they're not playing them together in this matchup, are the Eastern Kentucky Colonels.
To the bench, Walker. She has 10, but only on 4 of 12 shooting, so not a great shooting night for her. As I mentioned at the halftime, Chicago State's done a pretty good job against her. It's been the supporting members, so to speak. This one in particular, Ivy Turner, she's got 9 to lead the way for Eastern Kentucky. Caitlin Coster, she has 8.
And Turner now with 11, Walker with 10, Costner with 8, and then that means they have about 3 with 6, because they had 5 with 6 at the break.
Cougars break the press. Honaker over to Parrish, who knocks down the baseline jumper.
I love Eve Parrish from 18 feet and in. She has a really nice stroke, especially the flick of the wrist is very pure, straight up, straight down with the elbow.
McCullough back out to Turner. 6 minutes left to go in the third. She'll step into a 3 off the side of the rim. Deuce is there. Willard will push for Chicago State. Top of the key. Foul line now for Willard. She spins into the paint, gets cut off by Costner, kicks it out. There's a jumper from Honaker off the side of the rim. Rebound, McGinnis-Taylor.
I honestly think they took that shot because they haven't had a jump shot in about 20 minutes. Seems like Chicago State hasn't taken a jumper in about 20 minutes.
Down low to McCullough, and they're going to get Josie with the body.
But I like that for Chicago State. You want to, not the foul, obviously. You're working the ball inside. The Cougars usually, they do start to settle for jump shots. Here's McCullough going right at Hill. Hello, my old friend. We meet again. Seen a lot of matchups between those two in this game.
Yeah, 14 on 14. McCullough wins this one. She'll get a couple of free throws. She's 2 for 4 from the free throw line today. She has 6 points, 9 rebounds, and only 11 minutes of play. So she has been a whirlwind on that offensive and defensive glass for the Colonels.
And McCullough right now, you mentioned now 7 points with that free throw. She had a season high 15 last time out. So she's working towards possibly a double-double and a new season high.
And she's close. She's got 6 or 7 now, rather. Give her 8 and leads back to 19 with 5.5 left to go. Checking in here for Eastern Kentucky's Crittenden. Bree Crittenden.
Crittenden has come in and given them some quality minutes that don't go in the stat sheet. 6 rebounds. That's really the only quality stat. But she's come in and cleared Josie Hill out, making things tough on Chicago State's interior weapons.
Up top now, here's a 3-point attempt from Eve Parrish. And for Eve Parrish, that's just her 5th 3-pointer of the year. She's 5 for 10 on the year. Gets the Cougars within 16.
Well, that's why last time down I said I love her from 18 and in. She still got to work on the perimeter, but now takes the moving screen as McCullough tried to screen both Parrish and Norris. Chicago State, they have Coach Todd trying to figure things out here. Cougars still down 16, but causing some problems for the Colonels.
Yeah, offensively, things looking a little bit sharper for Chicago State here in the third quarter, outscoring Eastern Kentucky 11-10. Still a long way to go, both to come back in this game and into this game. We're halfway through the third. Here's Honaker down to Norris. Taylor will just turn fire off the rim. Rebound Parrish. Eve backs it out. Little 15-foot baseline jumper. Rolls around and in. That's the home court bounce right there for Eve.
Let it fly, Eve Parrish. I thought Crittenden, she did a favor for Chicago State. She should have doubled the ball. Instead, she doubled Hill. That left Parrish open for the jumper.
Eve with 9, lead to 14. 4.5 minutes left to go. Recanati handing it to Walker. Antoinette Walker drives into Parrish, scoops it underneath into McCullough. McCullough has the shot blocked by Hill, and they're going to get Josie with the foul again, and Josie just throws her arms up in the air. She's got 3.
Honestly, don't know why Josie's mad. That definitely was a foul. As we're going to see it here on the replay. But the issue here is Taylor Norris lost the ball. If Taylor stays with it, I think that bails Josie out. She doesn't pick that foul up. She went for an outright block, got McCullough on the wrist going through it.
She'll go to the bench with 3 fouls. We'll take a break. 4 minutes, 21 seconds left to go in the third. Cougars down 14 here on YouTube Live.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeart Radio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at ticketsmarter.com.
4 minutes, 21 seconds left to go. Eve Parrish, top of the key, rattles it home. Eve, only 10 three-point attempts on the year. Pretty good ratio. She's made 5 of them.
And there's Eve Parrish, still working on developing her basketball career, still working on that range. You've seen her shoot the ball well from 18 feet, now trying to extend that range out to 20 plus, so she could be a solid perimeter shooter for the Cougars moving forward.
Cougars here, though, in some foul trouble in the third quarter. Honecker, Norris, and Hill each with 3 fouls. Willard and Hester each with 2. So a team that's not very deep has 3 of its best players deep in foul trouble at the moment, with still a lot of time left to go in this one. 4 minutes, 21 seconds left in the third.
And you see the men's basketball team. That's Wesley Cardette on the left, Jashawn Corbett on the right. I'm sorry, Bewley twins, but that's one of the Bewleys right there in the middle. I'm not sure if that's Ryan or Matt at the moment, but they are here in the building for the Chicago State women's basketball game.
McCullough back at the free throw line where she's 4 for 6.
Coach Gerald Gillian is also here as well, right behind the Chicago State bench. So pouring of support from the basketball program.
Yeah, and I know that Andrea and Gerald spend a lot of time talking about the game and about strategy and things like that. So there's a great relationship between those two, which is obviously huge. The women come out to support the men come out to support the women.
And here comes Zakiya Carter coming to the game. First time we're going to see Zakiya in quite some time. She goes 6'6" for the Chicago State team. Really was a mystery coming into the season, but she's actually another player that has improved with her time on the floor.
Yeah, it was probably one of my favorite Chicago State stories this year is how Zakiya Carter was recruited by Chicago State. She sent an email to Andrea Williams and basically said, all I want to do is rebound and block shots. And Andrea said, well, if that's all you want to do, you got a home here.
And now she's got a steal and picks up and draws a foul. There's Zakiya Carter. I love when these players make us broadcasters look
That's
good.
Right
when we start heaping praise on them, they come in making plays. I like that.
Zakiya, 6'6" out of Waverly, Georgia, averaging just under 3 points, about 3.5 rebounds a game. And yeah, I just want to rebound and block shots, and Andrea was fine with that. Taylor Norris on the break-in, and she'll lay it in for 2.
Miss Chicago State defending her home and now going all the way to the basket, showing, hey, I got some game too. There's a reason I got that crown and sash.
Got 8 points, 4 rebounds, leads down to 13, 4 minutes left. Cougars in a 2-3 zone. Trying to stay out of foul trouble here a little bit. Up the top of the key, that's Cara Angeles working it to McCullough. McCullough down low to Walker. Walker back to McCullough, throws it high off the glass, trying to get it up over Z, and Carter with the foul.
There's one of those plays where I like to see Walker back down on Honecker. I thought she had the height mismatch, could have posted her up and laid it in. But you notice, Aaron, for Eastern Kentucky, despite the height mismatch, they're not really using it down low. You don't really see a lot of posting up with Walker and McCullough. So that's why they're out of rhythm, Chicago State, with this run the last few minutes.
That reach-in foul will be on Eve Parrish. That's her first. McCullough misses the free throw. In Eastern Kentucky, you said this in the first half, leaving a lot of points on at the free throw line. They're now 17 of 26 from the charity stripe. As McCullough makes 1 out of 2, she's 6 out of 10 from the line now. 3:43 left.
If I had to guess, I don't know exactly how many trips Eastern Kentucky's had to the line with 2 shots, but they've split on about 5 or 6 of them. That's where a good portion of those 9 have come from, missing the first end of 2 shots.
Norris over the head of Carter, but it's knocked out of bounds. And Carter played about 4 minutes in Chicago State's last game against Long Island, and she hadn't played for about a month before that. So got to get back into game shape here a little bit. And for Chicago State, they haven't played much for her to get back into game shape here over the last month.
It's really a weird schedule. You play. It's like you go almost 2 months without a day off, then you go a month with every day off, nothing to do.
Yeah, we talk about the season for Chicago State. They played 20 games in the first 30 days of the season as the ball's tipped away. Antoinette Walker will take it in, and she'll miss the bunny. The rebound there, thrown up in the air, and someone will be called for a reach. It's going to be Carter.
Looks like it's Norris. Looks like it's Norris with the foul. And that's questionable because, again, you got all sorts of hands on the ball down there. Good job by Willard, first off, staying with Walker, making her miss the lay-in. But right there, Willard got a swipe. Norris has, that's all ball as the ball goes into the air. And honestly, you can kind of see it because the ball's not coming out of the air like that if she's swiping down and makes contact. And that's just a tough break for Taylor Norris, her fourth foul.
McGinnis Taylor, her first time at the free throw line, 56% from the charity stripe, misses the first one.
Again, and you see Josie Hill at the stripe.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a 14-point lead here with 3:16 left to go, but Eastern Kentucky is letting the Cougars hang around here a little bit. All these missed free throws. There's another missed free throw, and McGinnis Taylor left too early.
Right, so she missed the free throw and got a lane violation. Yeah. So that's just a tough break for Eastern Kentucky. That's one of those things you're talking about where you got to stay out of your own way. We usually talk about that for Chicago State. Now Eastern Kentucky letting the Cougars hang around, as you just mentioned, Aaron.
18 of 29 from the free throw line is Eastern Kentucky here. Chicago State only 6 for 6. Here's Parrish. Eve, talk about getting out of your own way. Yeah. Eve just dribbles it out of bounds.
You know, I think Recanati actually knocked it away, so had Eve not chased it, it probably would have been Chicago State ball. When she chased it down, she made contact and lost it.
3:08, 61-47. Cougars outscoring Eastern Kentucky here in the third, 15-12. They've made 6 of their last 8 shots, and there's a nice feed inside to Jasmine McGinnis Taylor. She's able to lay it up and in.
Antoinette Walker has become a decoy. All they're doing is putting her in the high post, let Chicago State collapse, and once they do that, she drops it down for an assist.
Honecker on the far wing. Haley looking for Josie down low. Able to get it to Josie beyond the three-point line. She'll drive into Walker and again spin into that double team. It'll stay Chicago State basketball. We've seen that a couple of times here tonight.
If Chicago State can try to find a way to switch Walker on either Carter or Parrish, I think that would be a better look because that way Josie Hill can try to post up on a smaller defender.
There's Haley, little 12-foot jumper off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound Colonels.
Good effort from Carter hustling down the floor.
Recanati out into the corner, up fake on the 3 from Costner. Here's a 3 from the wing from Cara Angeles, and she drills it.
Great effort by Parrish on the closeout, but Angeles had eyes on the prize, cashed in at 3.
Altea for 3. She's got 9. Leads back up to 19. It was 14 about 30 seconds ago. Nice feed underneath to Z. I love the unselfishness from the Cougars right there.
Unselfish indeed, especially Taylor Willard. Any other player would have laid that up. She said, here, Z, you get an easy deuce. I've got enough of them.
Swinging it around the 3 for Costner off the rim. Rebound Simmons.
Parrish was about to slide. She almost came to a sliding stop to go run that down.
In the corner is Honecker. Haley kicking it out to Willard. Up fake by Deuce. Deuce to Hill. Josie at the foul line trying to find Parrish. Eve comes out of the pack with the basketball. She'll come out and fire. She'll miss. Rebound batted around. Colonel's ball.
Both of these teams are running the same plays. You just saw Parrish try to feed the same play we've seen Eastern Kentucky feed down low.
Another missed layup from Antoinette Walker. The rebound hauled down by the Colonels, though. Here's a 3 from Costner again off the rim. Rebound knocked around. Down on the floor, and it'll stay Colonel's basketball. Better communication needed there between Josie and Zakia. There were only 2 black jerseys under the basket, and the ball ended up on the floor in the hands of the white jerseys.
Claire Simmons in for Honecker. I just mentioned both of these teams, they're running the same play. Basically what's happening, the ball is going into the high post or that elbow, so to speak, and someone's curling back door. You saw Chicago State try to do it on their last possession. Eastern Kentucky, they've been doing it the entire quarter with Walker.
Fox checking back in here for McGinnis Taylor. Bridget, the fifth-year senior out of Altoona, Pennsylvania, transfer from Detroit Mercy. You can see her right there.
And that's one of those players that I'm happy was able to use that transfer portal. I mean, Detroit Mercy, they had a bit of a circus the last few years with the coaching situation, coaches being fired, coaches coming in, getting fired after replacing another coach. So Bridget Fox keeping her career going at Eastern Kentucky.
Bad pass by Deuce out of bounds.
You see a lot of Detroit Mercy up in the Horizon League. I've seen them against UIC quite a few times the past few years.
It's turnover number 15 for Chicago State. The Cougars are shooting almost 50% from the field in this game. They find themselves down 17, and a lot of that has to do with the turnovers.
Yeah.
You can't turn the ball over 15 times in 3 quarters and stick with many teams. Good hands by Simmons to take it away. Here comes Claire down the near side. Claire right into the paint. Steps around Bree Crittenden for 2.
Yeah, Crittenden a little too early to try to take that charge. Simmons saw it, said, I'm going to just sidestep you and kiss off the glass for 2.
Claire's now the 3rd Cougar in double figures. She has 10. Willard leading the way with 12. Josie with 10.
Claire's such a high-energy hustle player. I love the energy she's provided for Chicago State this season.
21 seconds left in the quarter. 13 on the shot clock. This is Recanati. Recanati drives, kicks out Fox. Here's Walker driving into the paint. The foul line jumper off the rim, no good. Hill with the rebound as it knocked away. Crittenden has it, gets it back to Fox. Fox throws it up without even jumping and is able to roll it up over the front of the rim at the horn. And that's how we will end 30. Cougars cut into that lead by 2, but they're going to go to the 4th, down by 17. Chris and I will be back for the final 10 minutes of the year here on the other side. This is Chicago State women's basketball on YouTube Live.
Tu futuro en la Universidad Estatal de Chicago con más de 70 programas de grado y certificaciones, numerosas oportunidades de becas y una vida universitaria vibrante. La Universidad Estatal de Chicago es la universidad pública más asequible de la ciudad con un cuerpo docente diverso y grupos pequeños de alumnos. En la Universidad Estatal de Chicago te brindamos las herramientas que necesitas para triunfar. Visita csu.edu/admissions para saber cómo puedes conseguir gratis la matrícula de tu primer año.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. TicketSmarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale, all backed with the TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think TicketSmarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed at TicketSmarter.com.
Quarter action about to get underway. And here's Claire Simmons using the good hands, driving, stepping around Bree Crittenden with the left hand.
What a finish by Claire Simmons, too, to adjust on the fly. But unfortunately for Chicago State, it was Bridget Fox. She got the ball down low, 5 in the game for Fox. When she comes in, she's only in there to shoot the ball. She's got 1 3 made, 1 2 made. Also got some family in attendance here. They were saying, let's go Fox in the pregame shoot-around. I mean, plenty of reason to cheer for Bridget.
Final 10 minutes of the season for Chicago State. They trail Eastern Kentucky by 17, 68-51. They start with the basketball here. Parrish in the far corner. Ball's tipped away. Claire will pick it up in the backcourt with 17 on the shot clock. Over now to Willard. Willard, they work it back around. Hill at the high post, has it tipped away by Fox. And it's into the hands of Ivy Turner.
Next step up for Hill will be pass recognition. Bounce pass, chest pass, overhead pass. Sometimes you just got to pick one out. So a lot of overhead passes lead to turnovers down low.
Another second chance here. Recanati, Fox. In the corner, here's a three from Walker off the rim and over and out. Chicago State basketball. Antoinette Walker only 4 for 17 shooting in this game. She's got 10 points. Cougars have done a great job, and you talked about it early, giving her different looks. Going from Deuce Willard to Josie Hill to Taylor Norris, Claire Simmons, Eve Parrish have all taken their turn on number 13, and they've done a good job at it.
They have, but it's also caused some foul trouble. That's why Norris has 4 fouls, and now Chicago State down 17. Working against the 2-3 zone.
Josie, quick jumper off the rim. There's Walker with the board.
Yeah, now Eastern Kentucky, they're just going to try to make Chicago State have to use the shot clock every possession and get out of here with that win.
Walker into Josie. Hill with the block shot. Get that out of here, says Josie Hill. Willard the other way, Deuce to the basket, and Taylor will get to the free throw line.
Nice job by Willard driving to the basket. Josie Hill with the rejection, ran out of her shoes, literally ran out of a shoe as she came down the floor. Unfortunately for Chicago State, this is a 3-on-1. Drop this off to the trailer. Drop that off to Taylor Norris running the floor. Also, you had a man open in the corner, but Willard took it herself. She'll go to the stripe.
Josie Hill now 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks in the final game of her sophomore season. Taylor Willard at the free throw line. She has 12 to go along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. She back rims the first one. Normally very sure-handed free throw shooter, 82% Deuce.
Taylor originally started her NCAA career at Grambling, then of course went to a couple of junior colleges before making her way here to the south side of Chicago last season.
A couple of really good seasons for number 2 in black and green. She's going to be missed, that primary ball handler, the leader of this team on the court.
I think this program's done a great job with guards the last few years, going back to Aaliyah Collins, Cookie Booth, Willard, Newell, Josiah Cunningham on the bench.
Yeah, Janiyah Newell last year was a bucket getter for Chicago State. You started to see some of that as Simmons commits to foul. You started to see some of that from Josiah Cunningham before she went down with an injury. Of course, she had that monster 38-point game and that 3 overtime loss against Evansville. So you started to see number 15, Josiah Cunningham, kind of be the next in line of those guards who can create and get their own. And she'll be a part of this next year, more than likely. And, you know, some of the pieces are there, and we've talked about this throughout the night, but it'll be really interesting to see what Andrea Williams does to complete this roster as we get into next season.
Chicago State right now down 16. They got a timeout on the floor. And the Cougars, you mentioned how we are going into next season. We really don't know what the future will hold. Yep. We don't even know who's going to be on this team next year. But we do know that Andrew Williams will be back.
Yep.
And that's just, honestly, to me, that's just the biggest thing, that Andrew Williams will get another season to recruit and coach and actually have a selling point. Because I don't think a lot of people understand how hard it is to try to sell to kids, hey, you're going to play NCAA D1 basketball, but we're not going to play in any conference tournament or have an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament because we don't have a conference tournament. So for Chicago State, they finally have a selling point which will aid the recruiting process for Andrea Williams.
Yeah, and I think for me, the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, and we've seen it here over the last few weeks, when Andrea Williams has time to actually coach her kids and show them how to play the game of basketball, you get games where they're able to hang around and stick with teams that maybe they're punching up against a little bit. When you start off the season playing 20 games in 30 days, and I think we're looking to see if this is a hard foul, what type of foul this is on Claire Simmons.
That's unfortunate. She did foul Ricconotti. She hit her right across the nose. I saw it on the first replay. Yeah. But right after, she wished her hand out. She said, hey, I'm sorry. Yeah. Didn't mean to do it. I don't really think this should be a flagrant one if that's what they're looking at. Didn't really seem like there was much intent to hit her in the face. She just missed badly trying to block the shot, and that happens in sports.
Right, and I think, Chris, like I just to finish my thought, even Andrea told me before the game, it's been really nice to have time to actually be a coach, you know, and do her coaching responsibilities and practice with the players, and you know, and you've seen that development here over the second half of the season. We've talked about the numbers from some of these players over the second half of the season. Taylor Norris, Josie Hill, Taylor Willard having some really good stretches here to finish the season out, and that's because they're actually able to recover in between games, and they're not being asked to play 3 games in 4 nights, or 4 games in 6 nights, or 5 games in 7 nights, which they've done.
And also, it's worth mentioning that Andrea Williams got a full off season this past year. She got hired on July 1st of her first season, which means you just got brought in right in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
You need way more time than that to recruit. You need a whole spring and summer, not just about 2.5 months to try to bring 12 kids on a roster.
It looks like just a common foul. So Recanati will take a couple of free throws. She'll make the first one.
Yeah, I understand they had to go look at that one for precaution, but even in real time, you can see Simmons, no malicious intent there, just outright missed, just hit her on the nose. She even ran up to Recanati to check her out.
Recanati has 6 points. They're all from the free throw line. 69-52. Pass looking for Norris, and they're going to get Walker with the foul. Chicago State catching a break there. Not a great pass by Willard.
Yeah, that's very questionable there. I mean, you know how they talk about pass interference on balls that aren't catchable. That's almost what that was. That was pass interference on a ball that was not at all catchable for Taylor Norris.
Somebody needs to inbound the ball for Chicago State. That'll be Eve Parrish. Back to Norris, top of the key.
Jump shot.
That's her shot. She doesn't take it. Works it down to Hill. Josie back up top to Simmons. Simmons uses the screen from Josie. She'll step into a 3 off the backboard. And, the official almost called number 5 on Taylor Norris, but put the arm down at the last minute.
A great play on by the official. You don't want to foul her out on that.
No. That's an easy 2 for Caitlin Costner. 19-point lead. We're under 8.
That's just a simple curl for Costner. Goes right to the rim and banks it in off the glass.
Deuce gets into the air again with no real where to go with the basketball. She turns it over. Here's Costner again. Plays catch with Ivy Turner. Down low to Walker. Walker backing in on Hill. Spins around her. That's a bucket getter's move. She misses, gets the offensive rebound, misses the second shot as well. Now 4 for 19, Antoinette Walker, but her team still leads by 19.
Great defense again by Josie Hill, standing strong on that low block.
Norris, Parrish, Hill at the foul line. Josie picks up her dribble. Back to Simmons.
She should have pointed that out before she got the ball. She was waited till she stopped to point Simmons' cut back door out.
Josie on the elbow.
It was Parrish.
It's to Simmons, to the basket, and Claire will get to the free throw line.
Yeah, you start to see those legs get tired for Chicago State. When they start to make some of those mental errors, that's them getting tired. You can see Josie Hill get that ball and then point out the play. You need to point that out, catch it, then drop it off. The ball ends up with Claire Simmons. She draws a foul, almost threw it up over her head and in.
Yeah, Taylor Willard has played every minute of this game, and she has, dating back to the 1-6 game against Idaho, so we're going back now 7 games, Chris, she has sat on the bench for a total of 11 minutes, and that was that game against Kuiper where Chicago State won by 80.
Yep.
That was the only game that she has sat down in the last month and a half. So she is an iron woman out there for Chicago State, and fatigue does set in. She's played 40 minutes, 4 consecutive games for Chicago State.
And then once again, that's why them having that 2 weeks off was huge before this game, because Taylor's had 2 weeks to rest before coming out here to give you another 40.
Hand check foul on Eve Parrish. Josie Hill has only sat for 1 minute in this game, and again, it just goes to talk about the depth. I mean, Josie's will end up playing 39 minutes here today. She played 38 against LIU, 37 against Purdue Fort Wayne, and then back-to-back games where she played all 40. So they've played a lot of basketball this year, the Chicago State women's team. Underneath to Costner.
Hopefully for Chicago State on the women's side next season, you don't have to see them playing about 20 games before New Year's Day. You hope with the conference schedule, you can iron that out, maybe play 10 early on or however they do it. Just you don't want to see the team playing 17, 18, 20 games before New Year's Day.
Simmons misses the shot. Norris with the offensive rebound, and Taylor will go to the free throw line. And obviously that won't be the case. They'll have their conference schedule, so they'll start the same time everybody else does, but they'll only play 6 or 7 games in that first month before the conference schedule, not 20 like they did this season.
It was 17, or was it 18 last year, 17 this year, whatever it was 35 games, and that's way too many games to be playing before New Year's Day in a matter of 2 seasons.
Yep. wears the team out early, and it creates injuries, which, you know, I mean, that can't directly be attributed to Josia's knee injury or Lauda's injury or anything like that. But the more you play, the more likely you are to be hurt.
That's just math. That's just simple math, man.
Yep.
And law of averages.
Yep. Taylor hits both free throws. She's the 4th Cougar in double figures. She's got 10. Chicago State down 17 as we approach the 6-minute mark.
And once again, I mean, it just speaks to this heart of this team, not giving up at all. Look at Taylor Willard pressing the ball, even down 17 points.
Down low to Walker. She'll turn the ball over.
Wow, Antoinette Walker just having a rough game
she's
here.
having a rough game. 4 of 20 from the field. That's her 4th turnover.
I think Josie, good look at Josie Hill. She has made Antoinette Walker work on that low block, and honestly, depending on how this holds, that might be it for Antoinette Walker as you see her walking to the bench to the right of your screen.
Yeah, one thing that we've seen from Chicago State, and this dates back to last season as well, these players who play for Andrea Williams will play hard till the very end. They will absolutely battle until that, you know, it's cliche, but they will battle until that final horn. And, you know, you saw Deuce Willard on that last defensive possession getting up on Recanati, and that's just how they play. That's what Andrea Williams expects from her team, and she knows they're going to be shorthanded in many opportunities, but that doesn't mean you can't play hard. Here's Josie with the baseline jumper off the back of the rim.
She certainly played hard this year, has Josie Hill. I would have to say probably the most improved player on the team this year from last year to this year.
Nice move by Recanati up and under.
Reverse kiss off the glass for Recanati. Nice finish down low.
There's Willard now for Chicago State. Step back jumper for Deuce is no good. There's Norris with the offensive rebound again. Taylor misses. Rebound haul down Colonels. Pass through the middle to McCullough, and she misses the shot, gets the rebound. She'll go to the free throw line, and that will be the double-double for Sierra McCullough. She's now got 10 points, 10 rebounds.
Great effort there by McCullough. Willard actually probably fouled her on the first layup, which you didn't see there, and then Simmons caught her underneath, and that'll send McCullough to the line. 10 points, 10 rebounds. She's played 14 minutes. 6 of those 10 are at the free throw line.
And 19 of 31 from the free throw line. Now 20 of 32 for Eastern Kentucky. Chicago State 11 of 12. So a pretty large free throw discrepancy, but Eastern Kentucky taking advantage of that size down low. As McCullough once again splits a pair. You've seen it all night long.
7 of 12 at the line for McCullough.
It's a 20-point lead. Willard backing it out. Simmons up top. Josie wants it at the foul line. It's knocked away, and out with it is Angeles. Angeles stops, waits for Simmons to go by, and there's another easy bucket for McGinnis-Taylor.
And that's twice. Angeles' legs went out from underneath her. Remember, she slid earlier, did the split. That time just fell. You see her shaking the leg as she ran up the court.
And she was limping a little bit as she came back down this time. Josie gets double teamed underneath. Nice look to Eve Parrish, who's not able to hit the shot, but good look from Josie. You talked about that next step in her development is that passing, and that was a good feed right there.
This is the Eastern Kentucky team, 19 wins on the season, 8-5 in conference. Here's a break for the Cougars.
And it's given away, and we're going to have a blocking foul at the last minute on Angeles. And I don't know if you agree, but I was hoping she'd pass it off to Simmons a little bit earlier on her left there.
Yeah, that's twice we've seen that. We had Parrish on the last possession for Chicago State. Could have hit Norris. Instead, she took the jumper and missed. And we saw Willard do that earlier where she had a 3-on-1. Could have hit Norris, the trailer. Instead, took it, drew a foul. Did the same thing here. She'll go to strike.
It's the last 4 minutes and 17 seconds of Deuce's CSU college career. If she wants the ball, she wants to shoot the ball, she can shoot the ball.
I'm sure she has the green light. I'm sure she's got the green light these last 4 minutes.
Yeah, she got 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And we're going to take a media timeout here. 4 minutes, 17 seconds left to go in this one. Cougars down 22 in the final game of this 2023-2024 season.
Future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition free.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
4 minutes and change left to go in the fourth quarter. Chicago State down 78-56. And Chris, this is one of those games. Chicago State's had some difficult losses this season, right? This is one of those games where you look up and you see they're down 22. It doesn't feel like that. They've played a pretty solid ball game. They still turn the ball over too much, but they've played a pretty solid basketball game here for 36 minutes.
They've been competitive the entire game. They've been in it. They've had a chance to win. And there's somebody that has won. That's a big winner. They just won the big TCL 43-inch TV raffle here at the JCC. We're giving away TVs here at Chicago State. That's the second one we've given away this weekend.
Love it. Giving away TVs.
That's that drum major I was talking about that we had on screen earlier, man. She always shows us those moves over here when the band gets it going. She deserves that TV. Go home and watch yourself on YouTube Live.
There you go. That's right. Go. 43 inches of television glory. Deuce Willard now at the free throw line here for the Cougars, looking for points 14 and 15. First one's good, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, Deuce averaging almost 16 points a game here over the last 6 for the Cougars. So she's finishing her college career here strong. Not only almost 16 points a game, but she's also averaging over 5 assists a game, which just goes to show ball movement has been better, and the offensive rhythm has just been better for Chicago State as well.
And Deuce is going to come out of the ball game for Haley Honecker. Handshake from Andrew Williams. We wonder if we'll see Deuce at least one more time here. Yeah, I don't see the bench getting up and clapping, so we could see Taylor one more time here.
And maybe just get her a break and then make that last substitution so she can get that hand, that nice ovation. There's a bucket for Angeles as she goes around Honecker.
Nice finish for Angeles. You'd like to see her get a basket there. She spent a lot of time on the floor today as Angeles.
Simmons, Norris now. Pass over the head of Josie Hill, thrown out of bounds.
Well, it's been fun again, being on the microphone and being behind the scenes for Chicago State athletics all season long. Another season, Chicago State basketball gonna end in about 3:40. So I just want to say it's been fun being on the mic for green and black basketball all year with you guys.
Yeah, I mean it's been fun to be a part of Chicago State athletics for the last couple of years. You know, it starts in the fall with men's and women's soccer and volleyball. As that ball's volleyballed around, as Norris picks it up, and then obviously we get to the basketball season and get to work with you. And we both get to work with our good friend Sam Brief. It's a lot of fun to be a part of this, and especially now that we're starting to see some of the fruits of the labor of these programs. The men's soccer program this year in the OVC made the OVC tournament. They were expected to finish dead last. They absolutely finished, I think, at 6th place in the conference. Made the tournament, which was not expected at all. So starting to see some growth from these various CSU programs, and it's really nice to see, and it's even nicer to be a part of.
Yeah, Dr. Carroll has done a great job with this university. I mean, you see some of the corporate sponsors. We talked about how we had the Raising Cane's student section here. I mean, just, you know, like I've said this a few times, there's, you know, a peek behind the scenes. I'm from the South Side. I'm from the area. This was an institution about to close last decade.
Yeah.
So for this institution to start to thrive, they talked about football and all of that. So for that to be the buzz around here, for the athletic program and positivity to be the buzz, that's a good look for Chicago State as we head to the back half of the 2020s.
2024 is shaping up to be hopefully one of the best years for Chicago State athletics that we've had in a while, just across the board. Ball down on the court. It's picked up by nobody. Jump ball. It'll stay Eastern Kentucky basketball.
Taylor Norris down on the floor there. Honecker was also in the area for Chicago State.
Honecker's always in the area when the ball's on the floor, though. That's her thing.
You see Taylor Norris smiling. That's the homecoming queen here at Chicago State. That's why we've been calling her Miss CSU all season long.
Deuce is Taylor Willard back in the game. There's a shot, count it, and a bucket for Rafaela Toussaint, who gets onto the scoring ledger with an and one.
Right, Toussaint came in for 2 minutes. Like, it was a brief 2 minutes in that first half. Back in here, second in, gets the hoop and the harm, looking to complete a 3-point play.
Foul on Eve Parrish, her third. Missed free throw. Tries to chase down a rebound, but Norris is there. For Taylor, that's rebound number 8. Why not? Deuce off the rim and no good. I was hoping that one would land. That's one I think we all wanted here for Willard.
All right, there's that green light. That last college game green light. Let it fly.
Go for it. Go for it. She's right up in the jersey of Angeles here as we're down to 2.5. And I don't think Taylor's quite ready to finish playing basketball yet, Chris. Certainly doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, Angeles down on the sideline. And she's taking some tough spills. Honestly, I didn't think that was really a foul on Taylor Willard, but Angeles has taken some tough spills to the floor. That'll be the third against Willard.
Taylor, her final college basketball game. She has 15 points.
She's past Taylor Willard on that play.
15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for Deuce. Angeles misses the first one. I saw Claire Simmons stand up and get ready to go to the bench, and then Andrea told her to go sit back down. So we'll see if she comes in for if they give Deuce that opportunity to kind of get that walk off here at the end.
Eastern Kentucky 14 missed free throws. That's as many as Chicago State has made in this game. 15 now for Eastern Kentucky.
Josie Hill for 3 rattles around and out. Couple almost down for Willard and Hill on their last 2 possessions.
Eastern Kentucky 21 of 36 at the stripe. Chicago State 14 of 16. So 15 misses. Chicago State only 14 makes.
Yep, Chicago State turned the ball over 19 times, which is a problem all season. And that's,
Excuse me?
Yeah, you can't do that. Kailani Lindsay is not allowed to do that with the basketball. She's got a little sly grin on her face. She understands that.
The whistle was delayed. I thought I knew everything about basketball.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, they changed the rules?
I don't know that play.
That's why I said, excuse me? I didn't know you could do that.
Down to 2 minutes left. Willard behind the back. Taylor into the paint. Into the corner to Honecker. Haley for 3 this time. Rebound Josie Hill. Back to Willard. Taylor with a jumper off the front of the rim. Deuce hustles it down, picks up the board. Down low underneath to Norris, and there it is, Deuce Willard. Pretty look, finding Norris for the easy basket.
Taylor made bucket there. Willard feeding Norris for the deuce.
It's now 4 assists for Willard. That's 12 points for Norris. We got a quick timeout, quick time. I think it's timeout on the court, right?
Yeah, EKU going to get Angeles out of there.
So Angeles out. Looks like Costner back in.
Yeah, they're going to look at that leg. She's been, once again, she did that split earlier, and they've been checking that leg ever since.
Crittenden has it here, backing into Honecker. Her shot is no good. There's the rebound for Norris. Taylor up ahead to Hill. Josie will back it out. Gets it over to Willard. Taylor for 3 again. Come on, we got to get one of those to fall. Toussaint with the rebound. Final minute now, 22-point Eastern Kentucky lead. So this season's going to end 1-26 for Chicago State, but I don't think you can just look at their win and loss record and kind of get an accurate picture of what Andrea Williams and this Chicago State women's program accomplished this year, doing what they did for 2 straight seasons, not being in a conference, playing whoever would play you whenever they would play you. And that's a challenge that no team wants to deal with, and Chicago State's done it twice.
Taylor Norris is going to come off the floor. So that's it for Miss Chicago State, as she is fouled out of this ball game.
Yeah, she finishes the game with 12 points, 9 rebounds. Fittingly, Chris, 5 of the rebounds offensive, 4 defensive.
Yep.
Costner at the free throw line. And as per usual, 1 out of 2.
Let's see if Williams will try to get Willard out of there. She's still in the ball game here.
You have to wonder if Taylor even wants to come out.
Yeah, she might.
Maybe she just wants to stay out there. She just wants to finish it.
Maybe she just said, don't make me play the full 40 tonight, coach. Just give me 39.
Give me 45 seconds off and I'm good. Here's Willard again. She'll take another 3. Nope. Toussaint with another board.
0 for 3 from beyond the arc as Willard might take another one.
Yeah, why not?
They'll get one more look.
She'll get one more for her. 38 seconds left. Eastern Kentucky could tend to just dribble the ball out here. Crittenden into the paint. She'll spin, put it off the side of the rim. There's a rebound for Josie Hill, and for Josie, that rebound gives her another double-double. She's got 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks. as Honecker is going to be fouled. And you saw
Taylor
Willard over
jumping
there.
up and down.
She wanted that basketball, man. She wanted that basketball badly.
Eve Parrish even pointed it out for us. She was pointing at Honecker like, no, hit deuce, hit deuce. But I see Willard over there with Coach Williams. Let's see if they pull her here with 21 seconds.
Haley hits the first one.
Looks like they're going to let Taylor Willard.
They're going to let her finish. You can see her standing there just going, I wanted the ball.
I just want one more shot at my career.
And she's going to come in and try to steal the inbound pass.
Taylor going to pick up full court here. Wouldn't have it any other way for Taylor Willard.
No, right to the very end, Taylor hustling as Eastern Kentucky will dribble the basketball out.
Claire, you can see them smiling. They're thinking about fouling.
They're chasing down Crittenden, and we're down to the final 3, and there is the foul on, I think that's going to be on, is that going to be on? That'll be on Deuce here.
Yeah, you see Taylor Norris looking on. They're trying to get Willard one last shot. So I think they will get the ball here with 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, they will get the ball with 2.5 seconds left. This is going to be a half-court heave for Deuce, but she's going to get that one final look. Yeah, and as I was saying, Chris, they'll finish the season 1-26, but there have been some strides. Andrea Williams has coached these women up, and there have been some real improvements, not just from last year to this year, but within this season. We've seen some real growth from some of these players. There's the offensive rebound, and Deuce isn't going to get that shot, and that's going to do it. Chicago State drops the finale of the 2023-24 season, 85-63. Taylor Willard in her final collegiate game, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Just a fitting performance for Taylor Willard. She was the heart and soul of this team this season. Only played 39 minutes, though. She got that minute off. The future of this team, Josie Hill, another double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 block shots. Taylor Norris, 12 points, 9 rebounds, played a great game. You got those two. You got Jasiah Cunningham coming back next year. The future is bright for Chicago State.
It does look bright for Chicago State, now headed to a conference. You just hope that moving forward in the grand scheme of things, these 2 years are just looked at 2 dark years in Chicago State where they just didn't have a conference. And I just want to thank you all, Chicago State, for having me on the mic these past few years. It's been fun being here. It's been another fun season in Chicago State basketball. I'm done. Thank you, Aaron.
100%, Chris. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's been fun. Next time we see you, Chicago State will be members of the Northeast Conference. For Chris Rouse, my other partner, Sam Brief, my name is Aaron Schellen. We'll talk to you next year for Chicago State women's basketball.